Okay, now I'm recording, so hello, welcome back to the Alexandrian Codex. I'm Alex. I'm very indecisive about what I want to play today. I didn't have anything particular scheduled, and I could wait until chat's around to ask for opinions, but bleh. So let's start out by spinning this wheel. Yeah, okay, well, I am listening to the Subnautica soundtrack. Yeah, okay, I can float that. Sure. Let's is streaming Subnautica? Alright, add a question mark there at the end, go to Subnautica, update this. Alright, let's boot up Subnautica and find a way to just this random chance. Now, I did play through Subnautica, but we did not, on stream, get to see the end of it. Now, I'm not just going to load up a save, just watch us launch off planet. If we come back to this game and it looks like the random hand of fate has decided that we should come back to this game, at least for today, we should find something new to do with it. Something new to do with it? Well, Jesus, that startup time is so much better than it used to be. Okay, alright, let's stop listening to the Subnautica soundtrack and play Subnautica. So, let's play here. Definitely starting a new game. I guess hardcore mode, right? Like, survival's what we played on before. Freedom is just an easier survival. Hardcore would add some interest into it, right? Because on our last run, I did die a couple of times. I don't really know if this is the sort of game that is particularly... No O2 alerts. God, that'll be annoying. Well, you still have the meter, right? No alert. Streaming... Hardcore Subnautica. Hardcore anything just sounds like it's sexual somehow. Hardcore Subnautica with Alexandrian Codex. I swear, it just sounds... This is a fucking Pornhub tag. Yeah, alright. Let's get our hardcore on, boys and girls. Let's do that. Subnautica is really a fun game, really a great time. I'm just, I wanted to call it shallow. It's not shallow, it's just very linear. And once you've explored everything, once you've built everything, researched everything, found everything, there's not a lot of busy work to keep you in the game. Games like Minecraft in particular really thrive because there's so much small bullshit to keep you busy. There's infinite resources in the world. Subnautica has finite resources. An absurd amount of finite resources, but a finite number of like limestone, sandstone? Yeah, sandstone, shale, etc, etc, etc. And if you spend the dozens and dozens, maybe even hundreds of hours to collect everything, that's it. That's everything in the game. Certain things like peepers or bladderfish or small consumable fish like that don't reproduce. So there's a finite number of those in the game as well, so once you hunt those down, that's it. There's an infinite supply of predators in the game, which is great, but predators as a resource are not particularly usable. It doesn't need infinite resources, but for the type of sandbox play you see with a game like Minecraft, that you see with games like RimWorld or Terraria, you need infinite or near infinite resources. But that's not really what Subnautica's going for, right? How long do you think it'll take for a mod to come out that lets you play as the female model? The only problem is I don't think the voiceover, the VO, for the female character is in the game at all. I may be wrong about that. But if you're not in the know, there is a female character model that's just completely not integrated. It's modeled, and I think it is animated and everything. Yeah, it's just like a different texture. It would still have the same model, just a different skin on it, more or less. Yeah.
This is considered an optimal outcome. This PDA has now rebooted in emergency mode with one directive: to keep you alive on an alien world.
Oh, thank God.
Please
I'm like,
refer
do
to
you
the
not get the
details
meters?
for
This is gonna be a
survival
hard
advice.
fucking time if
Good
I have to
luck.
like manually count seconds. And nope, the game's not that sadistic. Okay, alright, great. So this is exactly the same as every other run that's ever come before it. Please, it doesn't sound like we're near my favorite spot in the shallows, which is a shame. Oh, well, I might be wrong about that. Hold on. There's a wreck right here, which is dope.
The Aurora suffered orbital hull failure. Cause
This is not
unknown.
one with beacons.
0 human life signs detected.
Well, that's okay. It doesn't need to be one with beacons. Yeah, okay, this is not my favorite spawn, but it's not my least favorite either. I played enough off-screen time and time again to get decent bearings for the starts that I like, the starts that I don't, and to get way more picky than I by any right should be.
Copper is an essential
My
component
favorite
of
spot
all
in the
power
shallows
equipment.
is
Your
right next to
probability
a
of
wreck,
survival has just increased
and
to unlikely, but plausible.
more importantly, a hydrothermal vent. That hydrothermal vent is dope for generating all the power you might presumably need, might possibly need, not presumably need, during the course of play, which is really helpful. Really, if you're playing, that's some early sandstone. If you're playing,
essential component of many habitat modules.
if you're playing in the shallows, you probably have enough access to solar power that you don't need thermal, but it's just cool. Thermal power is more useful for certain areas later in the game, or setting up future bases when you want to expand little outposts. But again, the utility of small outposts is questionable. The time that it takes to run out to a new location, plop down buildings, drag the resources out there, cart them back and forth, etc., might actually exceed the amount of time you're saving unless you're being very intentional about where you're putting it and are taking into account how long transit times are. Not saying it's never worthwhile, just that it's often not worthwhile. So no voiceover about needing food or water or air, but you still have the meters. Okay, I completely misread how this would go. This is just Subnautica, but without the voice harassing you. Better Subnautica, I think. There's a brain coral down here, isn't there? There is not. Really, there's not? How the hell did I think there was a brain coral in here? Brain coral are those things that have the air bubbles coming out of them early on before you start expanding your capacity for breathing. That's a weird way to phrase that. Before you get better tanks that allow you to stay underwater for more extended periods of time. Brain coral are a fantastic way to accomplish this. Oh hey, double crash fish. I may die right here, actually. No, okay. Triple crash fish? One? No, I'm fine. But it did give the 10-second oxygen warning. Well, because I pissed off all those crash fish, might as well... I really don't think you ever need more than like 2 sulfur. Is that? Really unnecessary to get more. It'd be cool if you could refine cave sulfur into the sort of sulfur that you need later on, but as a progression mechanic, that wouldn't make a lot of sense, would it? The entire point of new resources and new areas is to help encourage the player to engage with the game mechanics and go further. The core premise that you're gathering resources because they have certain chemical makeups, and the fabricators breaking down those chemical makeups and reconfiguring them in new patterns, it's pretty good, right? Like, this is a damn welcome change for many people from the traditional trope of, like, go punch down a tree. Now go punch some rocks. Now go punch this and that. And okay, now that you've punched all these things, you can finally start building. It's similar. It's not that different. What? Alex, you foolish boy. Drop off all this quartz and copper and lead and silver and that. And yeah, let's go find this. Gather. It's a very clean mechanic, at least. It seems more clean. Really, in function, it's identical. Like, you go out, get resources, come back. It doesn't really matter what those resources are called or how you get to them. It is a very cleaned up version of more traditional crafting mechanics. I wouldn't say better, just cleaned up. Because it's functionally exactly the same. Instead of punching down trees, you're going around and punching rock sediments. They were pretty ridiculous. This game doesn't have great modding support, which is a shame, but modding support is not the easiest thing to integrate into a game. You have to really build it from the ground up with that in mind. And these folks were mostly just concerned with getting their game working at all.
The knife remains the only exception.
And working well at that, and they did a fantastic job at it. But modding communities are determined folks, particularly with the game enjoying the, I wouldn't say fandom, but fanfare and wide audience that this one has enjoyed. I always misinterpret this percentile on the medical kit fabricator as a repair indicator. Yeah, distress signal. I don't care. Yeah, sure. It hooked me up.
This is Aurora. Distress signal received.
I'm not gonna make too much of an emphasis on trying to go fast or trying to rush or anything, so we have standard O2 tank. Oh, it auto-equipped. We have standard O2 tank, no problem. 2 glass, 1 silver ore. Well, you got me, game. 1, 2, 3, 4, and silver. Okay, that's very nice. Don't have to go hunting around for silver, don't have to worry about how long it's gonna take to be able to breathe for longer. No, we're just immediately gonna build a high capacity tank. Dope, okay, well that's a high quality of life improvement. Let's get this boy back in our inventory. So before this power runs out, you definitely want to repair the panel over here. If you don't, I think that you don't get power anymore? I'm sure that you must, but it must be at a much more reduced rate. It'd be a little crazy if that's completely not the case. Ballsy, at least. Right, well, want to make batteries? I don't really want to make batteries yet. But I think I do have to make batteries now, right? Habitat builder, we're not there. Battery, glass, battery. Yeah. So, what do I want to do with these? I don't need Do I need lubricant for anything else immediately? Silicon rubber, I got. Silicon rubber, I got. I'm going to need lubricant at some point. Here, let's do that. Why'd I go in here to do that? That's not how we do that.
Detecting
Make some
local
flippy
radiation
floppies.
levels.
This holding.
Trend is consistent with damage to the Aurora's drive core.
Holy
sustained
shit.
During planet
Holding
fall.
shift keeps this menu up.
The fabricator draws from available data to provide environment
It's so
appropriate
nice.
equipment
Normally, if you
using
just
locally
click
available
on
materials.
building
For your
something,
safety,
this menu
setting
fades out.
cannot be overridden.
But if you click on something and hold shift,
Is essential in
this stays
construction
up,
of
so you can
vehicles
start
and
getting
power
ready to click the
plants.
next thing. There's no tooltip in game that lets you know that is how that works. That was just someone on the subreddit. Lubricant, yeah, exactly. White Tie Fan has the exact same maturity level that I do when it comes to that. I tried so hard not to just make endless lube jokes the first time I played through this, to no avail. The lube jokes were many. Many lube jokes. Let's get this, let's get these. I don't want this. Just immediately start polluting the ocean. This is why you're a smart person. What do I need? Acid shrooms? Acid shroom. Oh, yeah. They pretty much glow in the dark anyway. Dope. I have copper. So I don't need to go around finding copper. I just need to make a battery, then I'll have a light, then I can work through the night. Finger gun emote when? Finger gun emote soon. Currently, only emote is just little dude. But finger gun emote is in the works. I have a graphic designer who I'd like to work on it because I am not the most competent when it comes to making good graphical files. I can make some shitty images, but you know, if you go through the effort, you might as well make something good. I just haven't asked them about pricing yet. They're like, yeah, I'd be really interested in helping, and then I just never push the conversation any further. Because I get easily distracted. Alright, give me flashlight. Let's get... Oh, scanner is what I want next. I have everything for a scanner. Except the power. And this is solar powered. So the power increase, which we're seeing at the top of the screen, recharges real slowly. Like, real fucking slow. We're probably gonna have to wait until... Did that just charge 3 as soon as I exit? Okay, well, fuck you too, game. What I need for this man is 1 more titanium. Really? This? I can do that. I can do that.
The scanner can be used to synthesize.
Oh, right, the Super Bowl is today. Right, yeah, I have zero interest in watching that. I watched the Super Bowl a lot when I was younger, because it's like one of those things that you do, like watching the, watching Times Square on New Year's Eve. But as I've gotten older, I've become much more comfortable with the fact that I do not give a shit. If you do, hey, no shaming. Like what you like. But I don't even know who's playing this year. I've had friends and coworkers be talking about like their fantasy football leagues, and I'm like, no, I don't have time for that. I don't have that space. Yeah, boxing I could see being interesting. Football's not uninteresting. I just like am not that grabbed by it. It's no more or less than soccer, which I used to play a lot. It's a hell of a lot more interesting than, say, baseball or basketball. Those, I do not understand the fandom as much. Respect it, but do not get it. Philly versus New England? Yeah, okay. So, everyone who's not from New England is cheering for Philadelphia, and everybody else is going for the Patriots. This is soccer. Do you really... No, you're not that far away from home. Get out of here, stalker. For that meme to make sense, I need to play through Fault. Pripyat? What is that game called? Pripyat? Call of Pripyat? Fall of Pripyat? Call of... Stalker. Yeah, Call of Pripyat. Get out of here, stalker. Bowling? Man, I don't think I could watch competitive bowling. No. Be a lot of... I mean, bowling can be... kind of fun. I don't even like bowling myself. So watching other people bowl... In college, one of the colleges that I went to had a bowling alley attached to like the dining hall that was supposed to be like this cool hangout area, but it's fucking bowling. You can put LEDs on it and pop music through it and try and make it seem cool, but going bowling on a Friday night is not what college Alex had in mind for how to have a good time. It can be okay, but I'd rather, like, go out drinking, or go to a party, or sleep. There are so many things I'd rather do than go bowling. It's just not fun. It's very tedious, right? Like, you, walk and sit a lot, and then sit some more, and then throw a thing and sit some more. It's just very passive. I like more active sports. Like, playing soccer is a lot of running around. Hell, I like volleyball, even. Yeah, it makes sense as a way to wind down. And again, if you like it, all the more power to you. I'm not saying it's a bad sport. Baseball, I will say, is a bad sport. Baseball, I will hands down say, is a bad sport. Because it's just brief periods of activity separated by long periods of inactivity, which is just mind-boggling. Boxing's pretty fucking rad. Boxing and MMA are both appealing for different reasons, right? MMA is more fun to watch, but boxing is... It's kind of a mind game, kind of like a duel of wits in certain ways. Nope. No gracias. Alright.
Detecting sulfur deposits in the local cave
I mean,
system.
it's a very
Sulfur
physical
is an essential component of
sport,
the
naturally,
Reaper
but it can be really interesting how many little things play into it, and I feel like that can be said for just about anything else, right? Like,
New creature
football becomes really interesting once you fixate on, like, the numbers and people's performance records and everything else.
Utilizing alien resources is a proven
As can
survival
baseball,
strategy.
basketball, anything can be interesting if you want it to be interesting. I mean, there are people who study geology, there are people who study geography, there are people who study microbiology, and there are people who, like, wake up every day incredibly excited to learn about small changes to a fandom or one particular artist making work. I only have 60 followers? Well, yeah. I don't make that much of an emphasis on whoring out the channel. Not whoring out, let's say, pimping out. There we go, that's a nicer way to say it, pimping out the channel. I would love more followers, but I also only stream for like 4 hours most days, 8 hours on some days, which is a fairly decent amount of time, but a lot of streamers, especially when they're first starting up, this is the opposite of what I want to be doing, bring over communities from other sites, which is a brilliant move, and also do like 24-hour streams and really try to drive up hype. Not too into that.
Receiving pre-recorded distress call, laying back.
This is Lifepod 3 uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency sea glide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic. Also, don't
What,
go
I've
home
been
without
streaming since
Seriously.
mid-November, seriously, so 60 followers over the course of 90 days. November, December, January. It's now technically February. So that's not one every 2 days, more like one every 3 days. And I only stream about once every 3 days, so that makes sense. There are no other humans in the game. No, unfortunately, not. The game is still very much trying to emphasize the whole feelings of isolation, being stranded. So there's actual, like, the radio distress signals and the little recordings that you find around are no longer just text files. They'll have audio files attached to them, which, hello stalkers, adds quite a bit to it. Like, makes it feel like they're real people, or at least more believable people. But yeah, it's still not. There are no other folks. And the only way that you can ever see your character model, as was demonstrated by someone on the Subnautica subreddit today, is if you go into the sensor station scanning room. There we go, scanning room. Build a window in the scanning room. Then drive one of the little camera drones to look in through the window. Then that's the only way that you can ever see your full character model. But there is a full character model, which is very interesting. Subnautica multiplayer would be really cool. I've been saying that since the moment I hopped into the game, and I saw that there are 2 chairs in your escape pod. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a hint that they might work on multiplayer at some point. Otherwise, why put 2 chairs in there? But the devs have consistently denied that they have the time, resources, or will to make multiplayer. They think it'd be very cool, but the amount of labor and cost that would go into it just isn't going to be profitable or even cover up its expenditure. Just really a shame. There's one very ambitious mod project that's been being worked on for quite some time that has the intention of making it multiplayer compatible.
Blueprint acquired.
I feel like it'd be good in short bursts, but long-term multiplayer Subnautica would be a little awkward. Like, because there's a finite number of resources in the world, things would run out doubly quickly. Still, I think it'd be fine. I don't know how difficult it would be. I imagine probably not too terribly difficult, but again, that's really easy to say. Like adding net support for a multiplayer game, like, it's just really easy. You just do it, right? But it's not. And there are nuances, I'm sure, that I don't properly appreciate on the programming end. Because I have not popped open any of Subnautica's files. This is one game that I'm like, oh yeah, it could be fun to mod. But just haven't touched it all. Oh my god, the crash fish. Okay. Crash fish are, in my experience, the most dangerous creature in this game. I've died more times to them than anything else. Not recently, but when I started playing the game, I wasn't paying too much attention to the health bar. Oh, calling it a bar is a little. The health meter, healthometer. Where'd the copper go? There'd the copper go. So I dropped that to pick up the copper because later on in the game, through a scanning room, I might scan for metal debris, or metal salvage. I will never scan for just copper. If I'm looking for copper, I'll scan for limestone, and then I won't find what I'm looking for. Okay, this so I can go find the spot I want to build my base at, which is the same spot I always build my base at. Habitat builder. Battery, computer chip. Okay, computer chip. I need table coral. That's really easy. I think we're right above some table coral. Yeah, you pretty much always are in the shallows. So 1, 2, we're fine on food and water, so I don't need more than that. I'm very, very interested to see... That's not table coral, you fool. That's coral tube. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Oops. Oh, we'll store that and use it later. By that I mean, give me salt, use it immediately. Wish I wasn't surrounded by people fucking blasting the Super Bowl in every room. That is a shame.
Caution.
Can't really blame them though. I mean,
Of the Auroras. Drive core.
it is a
May
huge
result in
event.
quantum detonation.
Like, it's one of those events that are really, really popular for no other reason than the fact that they're popular, and those are fascinating. I just drank that water instead of right-clicking it.
Day's water ration ahead of time
Womp womp.
will help ensure against dehydration and eventual death.
Like, it's one of those things that even if you don't like the sport, you watch just so you know what people are talking about. It's like when a new Star Wars or Marvel movie comes out, Disney movie even, I guess I could have just said, a lot of people will watch it and attend and participate just out of this sense of social obligation. Really interesting. Every single man in the hospital. I may be in the hospital, but by God, I will use every fiber of my energy to express my enthusiasm. I don't get the screaming at the show part of watching football. If you're live, I totally fucking get it. But if you're not live, like, why yell? Why? No one can hear you yelling at the TV. The players can't hear you. So all you're doing is just looking like a jackass. I don't know. It's probably cathartic and fun, and generally if somebody's fun isn't hurting anyone, then I don't like to, well, I shouldn't hate on it. I was gonna say I don't like to hate on it, but dude, let's be honest, I totally do. Everyone does. Let's get sandstone blaze. Actually, what biome was over there? Yeah, you're an angry fish. The stalkers have never scared me. It's fascinating to see how many people are just terrified by Subnautica. I mean, there's some spooky elements, don't get me wrong. And I've been spooked playing this game before, but yeah, there's sandstone over here. I really cannot understand the people on the subreddit who are like, I just can't go deep in the water. I'm so terrified of reapers. Like, the first time I ran into a reaper, I swam circles around it going like, oh yeah, the tracking on this is pretty good, but like, it's a little glitchy in its pathfinding, and it's pretty good. I don't know, maybe I'm just more jaded than most people. Just fine, totally valid. I have played many a video game in my time, and oftentimes when playing games it's hard for me to not think about the back end or the coding end or things like that. I enjoy, but a lot of people, especially if you're playing this in VR, maybe that would make it easier to get deeply immersed. Yeah, the Reapers aren't that scary though. Like, if you're just playing on survival, what's the worst they're gonna do? Kill you? Alright. There's no penalties for dying. Right, the only in-game consequence is death, which is temporary, which is just a minor setback. IRL, if it were real life, or on hardcore mode, like I'm playing now, maybe I'll get some of that fear, because I don't want to have to throw an entire series out with dying or restart it, right? There's VR Subnautica. Yep. I think Subnautica is VR Subnautica if you have a VR headset. It sounds fascinating. Sounds like a lot of fun. I do not have the disposable income to pick up a VR headset, nor do I really have the floor space to do that. But if somebody donated me one, or purchased one for me, I would definitely find a way to indulge in that. Because, like, fuck, who wouldn't, right? Yeah, the VR support probably took up a fair amount of dev time. I can't imagine playing this in VR. Because it's hard to visibly imagine if you haven't done it before. But it looks real cool. Yep, got that gold. Should probably be heading on back now. I have the silver that I wanted. Yep, you're an angry shark. Yep. a lot of the aggressive fauna in the game, like the stalkers, like the sand sharks, like the bone sharks, like the reapers, just about everything notify you when they're going to attack. They give you a heads up. There's some sort of tell indicated. With the reapers, it's like that annoying scream that they do, or terrifying scream or whatever. With the stalkers, they also scream. With sand sharks, they make that weird sound that one just made. There's a lot of audio cues that you get. So being caught unaware by something is really the only way that I get spooked. Like in beta more so than now, Reapers would occasionally just not scream. There would be no audio indication that they were right behind you, and just having the screen suddenly shake around and have your sea moth grabbed and ripped apart was quite startling. The first time you run into a mesmer, I think, is probably pretty scary. Just having that experience of, what the fuck is happening? Why am I not in control of the game anymore? I don't understand. That can be unsettling. And for me, that's a more relatable type of fear. Is the sort where you're panicking because autonomy has been ripped away, and as a player, autonomy is the end-all be-all of most video games, right? Autonomy is the game. You making choices or decisions or going out is 100% the function of most games. So when games are brave enough or ballsy enough to take that away from you, it can be quite jarring.
Is designed to construct habitats capable of withstanding extreme
Lube,
environmental
copper wire.
conditions.
Copper wire, I can make. Lube, I have. Let's do that. You're undeployable. The emphasis on cleaning up the UI, on making things look nicer. I have a great deal of admiration for the team that worked on this. It would be a pretty massive pain in the ass. And of course it's dark. Okay, let's look at this for reference. I think I need to go south for what I want. What I want is one particular spot in the shallows that has a vent in it. That is right next to a crash site. I want that spot because I just like that spot. I'm listening fairly carefully to see if I'm hearing telltale vent sounds. I'm not yet. Okay. This is a crash, but it's the wrong one. Right? Yeah. Okay, this is here, so it's over this way. God, I played this game too much. I recognize parts of the map. The experience of being lost and having to find your way around and learn where everything is.
Scans show a nearby cave entrance.
There we go, yep.
90 meters,
This is a mushroom cave. But what I want is... over here? I think so. You're over here, it's over here. I'm looking at this hollow map to try to get slightly better reference. This seems... yeah, this is the right direction. We're getting there. It's so dark. Where am I? Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was real wrong. I thought No, I'm just not high enough. Okay. I'm just not high enough. Quote me on that. No, I think I'm too far away from it now. I took a right when I should have taken a left, maybe? I'm gonna keep going out in this direction just to make sure I'm not wrong about this. But I think I done fucked up. And I went in the wrong direction. Just fine, all I have to do is turn around. Maybe? I'm not 100%. Ah, that's okay. Well, I recognize this. Well, I recognize all of this, but my mental map is not good. That is... I don't recognize this wreck at all. Oh, because I normally approach it from the other side, yeah? If I approach it from the other side, will I recognize? I know where I am. Okay.
Passing 100 meters.
Yeah.
Oxygen efficiency decreased.
Don't worry, game. If I drown, it's only the end of the series, and then we have to go back to the wheel to find something else to play. I'll come back here when I have a actual submersible and can make better time of this, but I can't right now. Is there brain coral down here? Not seeing any. Right, okay. I know where I am. Some of these the reef areas have brain coral around to make it easier to investigate when you're still early on before you get your sea moth. Others, like this, intentionally don't have them around. It's an effort to dissuade the player from hanging out in that area because you can't breathe. That, or it waits until you have the
Integrating new PDA data.
sea glide. Yeah, I was forgetting the word for sea glide. To thoroughly explore those areas. So, okay, we're near the second mushroom area. I'm connecting the dots. Alright, that's over there. Mushroom number 3 is right here. Mushroom number 2 is over here. It should be... that direction? This direction? That way, maybe. Yeah, that way. Like, I definitely don't cut through the kelp forest. That, or, you know, I'm completely wrong about where I'm going, which is fine. That is the case, and we're just going on a fun little tour. Oh, okay. Nope, never mind. Not a fun little tour anymore. Very intentional expedition that we're on to find these sea moth fragments, and definitely not just getting lost. Okay, no, this is right at the base of where I want to be. It's gonna be so much closer to where I started than I thought it was. So there's gonna be this, and topography should keep going up. Does it not? No, okay, it's more out this way. Jesus, Alex, you have no idea where you are. So, recognize this. This is what we were looking at when I'm like, oh, I know where I am, and took a right-hand turn. Should have taken a left-hand turn here. That's fine. I should have gone... what? Should have gone east instead of west, but I went west instead of east. You can kind of orient yourself even before you get the compass. The aurora is pointing mostly north and mostly south on the back end. It's like at a northeastern inclination, but it's still generally helpful for lining yourself up. How much room do I have in our inventory? Okay, so only sandstone deposits until I get to where I want to go. And, well, that's a really easy early sea moth. I don't even have the mobile vehicle bag. So I should go dick around in the kelp forest to get the rest, or never mind. I could just keep on staying around here, apparently. I'm fairly certain that, well, this is a scanning room fragment. I keep on being like, I should move because I'm not actually sure that I know where I am, and then I find something else next.
Integrating
There are no
PDA
fragments
data.
inside of these caves, and I'm not really looking for loot at the moment. This drops down to... Okay, alright, that's 0.3. So, I know that that's about 200 meters from where I want to be.
Warning. Local radiation readings suggest the Aurora's drive core
We need to
has
go more
reached
north.
critical state. Quantum detonation will occur within 2 hours.
Yeah, angry fish, angry fish. Okay, there's the mobile vehicle bay. So now, even if I don't get to where I want to get,
New blueprint.
I can just go
acquired.
back, build the mobile vehicle bay, and use that to zip around a lot more quickly. But I think... Yep, here it is. This is where I wanted to go. I found it. That sound is supposed to make this easier to find, but either I wasn't listening closely enough, or... That's okay. Home, sweet home. Fuck yeah, alright. This is some glitchy floaters. What can I build? What can I build with the titanium I have? Quite a bit, in fact. Okay, I can't make a, fabricate. Ooh. All I need is table coral. Alright, let's get some table coral so I can make that fabricator. I like this site particularly because if you don't have beacons, you can get beacons right in here. If you have a cutter? You need a laser cutter? No, you need a repair kit to get back here. Repair kit, repair tool. You knew what I was saying. Mobile vehicle bay, we have that. So basically this is just titanium, titanium, free titanium. Is there not a...
Integrating new PDA data.
Aurora survivors? Here.
Ozzy's log. It's the day of the crash. I don't know what the heck is happening. I'm scared and I'm not going outside. There are shadows in the water under the hatch, but I can't tell if they're rocks or aliens. And there's weird-looking caves nearby.
Oh, okay, no beacon in
Aurora
there.
was
Never mind, I'll
carrying
get full
everything
shit.
needed to build the phase gate. Mobile vehicle bays, bioreactors, propulsion cannons. It had a cinema. There was a zero-G
Cinema.
gym.
I think Ozzy is my
cafe.
favorite voice actor.
I don't understand how we're
His
here now.
character's by far my favorite.
Don't know why
It's
no
like-
one's coming for me.
Yeah. The only one that really relays emotion in a believable way. It almost seems overacted, but I really like it for some reason. So hey, whoever the hell was Ozzy, big ups. Good job. What do I want to start with here? This, I guess, an X compartment, the same thing I always start with. Is this fine? Is this north-south inclinated? Let's see if I can line this up better. Alright, so that's... Okay. Yeah, he sounds very stereotypical. To me, it's a very Boston accent, but I like it. You having a hard time there, floater? Yeah, you suck on that rock. You make that rock float, buddy. You can do it. When I first started playing the game, I'm like, I don't know how I like bases to look. But I pretty quickly found a repeatable structure that I really like. So I like this location because it's on the edge of a few different biomes, but more important than that, it has access to a hydrothermal vent, which means it has access to a lot of free power, basically infinite free power. Not infinite, but as much as you'll ever reasonably need. And it's centrally located enough that you can get to it from most places on the map without too much of a rush. It is about 800, 900 meters out from the easiest entrances into the depths, which is a bit of a turn-off, but nowhere in the shallows, nowhere that you're going to build your first base is really all that close to any of those entrances anyway. And if you're going down there, you might as well just Cyclops up and live in the Cyclops for the rest of the game. Because it just is a better time-saving measure. Bostonian Rhode Islander stereotypical. Yeah, huge stereotype. But having lived in New England and Connecticut and New York, and I know New Yorkers hate it when you call New York New England, but it is. It sounds similar enough to people that I had known there.
Warning.
Yes, no oxygen in here yet. Oh no, we can't
Oxygen
breathe.
production
Panic.
offline.
That here. Do I have enough titanium to build? Fuck yeah, I do, boy. Do this. Now I'm out of titanium. No, I'm not? Okay, I got more than I thought. That should line up. And it did. I'm popping this down here. I don't want that hatch there. I want that hatch on top. Nope. So, now we go back here, we make a ladder going all the way to the top, we put a hatch on the very top so that we can build solar panels on. And we will use those solar panels. Oh god, you align north, south. Ladders you can't rotate. So many other things in the game you can rotate, but ladders you just kind of have to accept where the game wants them to go. Awkward. Speaking of awkward, I do not have enough titanium. Fortunately, there is enough just around here that it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I shouldn't have to double all the way back. I say that, but I may have to. I'm running... Yeah, you know what? I'm running low enough on water that I should anyway. I have a bunch of other resources, so it's going to be a little bit of a pain to cart them back and forth, but unless this is a titanium... Dope! That doesn't really finish anything, but I hate leaving projects half constructed. So... Oh, that was glitchy. Alright, cool. So we're about 400 meters from where we started. We are pretty close to that. The mountain is further away, but that's okay. Floating island is right there. There's some fun biomes over there, and yeah, this is good. I'm gonna start plopping these down. Oh, okay, good, because I was hoping that it would start eating quartz from our inventory, so I could, in effect, start storing stuff here. Can't see super well, but I want that one lined up there. And this one I want lined up right here. Oh, that was only an eclipse. Okay, fair enough. Now we go back there, so we can grab everything we actually need, and then we'll head back out here, build some storage containers, and stop living from out of the life pod. When I first started playing this game, I lived out of the life pod for so long. In fact, in my first run, the life pod drifted so much that I was off the map and had to contend with Reapers all day, every day. So that save got scrapped pretty quickly. With an increased emphasis on getting the hell out of there.
You have exceeded your weekly exercise quotient by 500%.
So right now, all I really want to pick up is titanium so I can make more storage and move things back to our new center of operations more quickly. Have I scanned a rabbit ray? It doesn't really matter if you scan things. Scanning things doesn't unlock new technologies or new buildable items, which to me feels like a missed opportunity, but that's okay. I made bleach at one point, did I not? No, I made water and then drank it all. Right, but I have salt? Nope, I'm lacking in knuckle. Do I see any salt? Salt. No. Okay, bladderfish instead. I'm fine with that. There we go. Bladderfish. I'm sorry, bladderfish. You would be better used as emergency air reserves, but no can do, buddies. No can do. Okay. we'll refine all that titanium. Having that titanium refined should allow me to finish up the solar panels, which is really the last missing ingredient
Vital signs
on
stabilizing.
our habitat once the solar panel is up and running. Singular solar panel. Oh,
Emergency. A quantum detonation has
yeah,
occurred
let's go stare
in
at
the Aurora's
explosions.
drive core.
Well,
The
maybe I
reactor
won't be able to
reaches
if it takes too long.
critical state. Minus
Damn it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
I should have timed that better. That would have been really great if I had timed that to open up the hatch as this explodes. Oh well. Yeah, screenshots being saved to your PDA is not a thing that I knew happened. So you can build posters, pictures,
Acquired.
picture frames.
For your convenience,
In the game, I
radiation
want this
suit
to
has
be in
been
frame
added to
right
your
there. Get
blueprint
out of my frame.
database.
Get out of my frame. I don't like there being 3 of you in here. You can build picture frames and post these images that you've taken, these screenshots that you've taken. Alright, that looks pretty. There we go. You can also, in the, at the end of the game, what are they called?
This is
The...
Life Pod 6. I
time
have a passenger
capsules?
on board. Coordinates attached.
You have
We've
to
landed a
attach an
kilometer
image
from
to
the
that
crash
as well.
site, but there's radiation in between us and the rendezvous.
Her
Request
voice actor.
Immediate assistance.
Us
Six
and the
out.
rendezvous.
Signal coordinates corrupted.
don't like it.
Approximate transmission origin recorded to date about.
Oh, wow. Codes and clues. This is... I hadn't noticed that before. Okay, cool. Way to make yourself more accessible, game. I greatly admire that. Let's make Home Sweet Home a better color. A, more immediately recognizable color. If I'm going by tradition, I'm gonna name my Seamoth Fuck Yeah Sea King, but we'll see if that happens. Well, I've been at this like almost an hour. We have the habitat set up. Speedruns for this game are hilarious. When it was still in beta before the rocket was put into the game, speedruns were just like, go get cured, and that's the end of the game. I don't know what the new time to completion is, but it's got to be fairly considerable. Even speedruns in this game were fairly time consuming. Because, you know, it's not exactly hop in, you're done kind of experience. Name the sub after you? I don't know, man. It's a big ask. It's not really a big ask. Getting in the way of me and my memes? I guess I could name the smaller sub Goldine and name the Cyclops Fuck Yeah Sea King. That would make more sense. But I don't know. But then, what the hell do you call the the prawn? Krabby? Kingler? Kingler actually would not be a bad name for that thing. That would be fairly cool, truth be told. Oh man, the deja vu from this. Jesus! I can hang this way off of that wall, but can you... Can I fit 2 on here if I do that? Oh, hell yeah. It looks like garbage. Like, this looks like sin, but that's okay. If I can fit more lockers into this first area, it's worth it. And don't worry, I know that I'm dying of asphyxiation right now. It's fine. It's fine. Air's overrated. We still got a minute left. There. The lockers in this game are so nice that you can change the name, that you can, in fact, change the color of the name. Is that white or is that blue? That... I can't tell. Whatever, it's close enough. Alright, let's go get some air, get some more titanium. No, okay, building the lockers like this was a mistake. There's no escape. The ladder has us strapped in this way. I guess we don't really need the ladder. Do we? I think it's cool having it, so let's just reconsider trapping ourselves. Oh, you can suffocate in a base if it doesn't have power. Yeah, it's very easy to do. I've never had it happen because most of the time when you walk into a base and it doesn't have power, it'll be like, warning, no oxygen production. Yeah.
Power restored.
Wow, that was...
All primary systems online.
I saw the subtitles way before I saw that actually pop up. Okay, can I walk past this? I mean, uncomfortably, but yes. So let's keep this walkable. Can I fit 2 in here? Yeah! Alright, cool. I'd be delighted if I could fit all the lockers that I need into this tiny space. I don't really know how likely that is. But that'd be really cool. No, I think I would like to expand the base out that way. Eventually the moon pool will go where this hatch is, so I can probably just build off of the moon pool actually and just have this be like tiny little storage bay. Yeah, I don't hate that idea. It's been about an hour, and we're not dying inside of our own base anymore, so I'm gonna wrap up the first hour here. I'm probably just gonna keep going with Subnautica tonight, because this is comfortable and easy, and I haven't done a full 1.0 playthrough, so doing it on hardcore, why not? So YouTube, I'll see you tomorrow. You know how this goes. Go like, comment, subscribe, all that garbage. I mean, if you're watching this and you're on YouTube, I imagine you know how to interact with content, so it seems really weird to me to be like, remember to like and subscribe, just because, like, of course you remember, and, like, isn't it irritating that there's 30 seconds at the end of every video that I'm gonna do this? So go do it, and then just preemptively end the video 30 seconds early. Anyway, see you tomorrow, YouTube. Bye.